I gotta zoom. Let's see here. Okay, maybe that will work. Good.
Learn something new every day.
Very good. Hello, everybody. Today is Monday, January 26th,
Seven.
27th. Thank you for the app for the 411. Today we're going to talk about meditation. I need people's phones off, please. I need slurping to stop.
Get out, Nico. Out.
I need volume to go down. We're 40 seconds into this and we're still getting it done. All right. So, tonight's topic is a topic that's very close and dear to my heart. It is meditation. Meditation is what began my journey, and meditation is what going to end my journey. What does that mean? Well, meditation is possibly 5,000 to 6,000 years old. It's older than dirt. Meditation has been um, recently been studied. It's been studied by major universities like Harvard, and the results are pretty substantial. Let's see what science has it down as. Science has it down meditation is the habitual process of training your mind to focus on and redirect your thoughts. I don't know what that means. Habitual process of what? Breathing? Habitual process of being free? I don't understand. Basic structure of meditation is darkness. There is no structures in darkness or structure to darkness. Even though structures may be present, the structure of darkness is such that we came from there. We go back to there. So, in the beginning, the universe is mind. All is mind, mind is all. Everything is a mental process. And the mental process that we're experiencing does not come from our brain. I believe they call it the seventh chakra. I don't know. But if they're calling a chakra not part of your physical body, you have to wonder what that is. And that is mind. Okay. In darkness, there is no structure. Will you observe structures? Possible. But it is funny how in the beginning, uh, you would sit there and close your eyes and just take it all in. When you were trying to survive, or when you were trying to not be eaten by a tiger or a wolf or whatever it is that you were trying to survive from, you shut your eyes basically to visualize a war. And this was the process that meditation really got started on, because as a tribal system began to take hold, you would gather and focus your energy into beating your enemy. It's also focusing the energy on crops, also focusing the energy on hunts, also focusing the energy on life and purpose, period. Now, the data today shows different benefits. It shows, I'm reading off my phone, by the way. So, reduces stress, for example, controls anxiety. It's better. Uh, sorry, I don't want it too high. It supports emotional health. It enhances self awareness. It's right here. So, let's see, lengthens attention span, May reduce age-related memory loss. I need that. Can generate kindness. Interesting. May help with addiction. Absolutely. Improve sleep. Sleep and food is your number one way to get back to health. Helps control pain. I can definitely vouch for that. Very true. Can decrease blood pressure. Accessible anywhere. Okay. So this is the modern twist of meditation, and that's what the data is showing. The data is showing this because the nuances and the little variations of meditation are really not known. Um, that's because there are many different techniques, and these techniques can go from binaural beats to pointing or staring at a spot, depending on who and what you are and what you're structured as completely as a human being. But the little differences or the nuances of meditation is based on the individual vibrational being. We're all vibrating at a different frequency. We're all experiencing consciousness through mind in this illusion differently. Okay. So there is ways to enhance the gray matter in your brain. And to enhance the gray matter in your brain, you have to sit there in peace and silence. That is a fact. That is what grows. That is what grows the gray matter that receives very special information. And that very special information is part of the fractal of mind that creates the consciousness that we have. Now, if I did not have my two NDEs, I would not find it helpful to me to sit there in silence. Only because in that silence lies the truth. That truth is individually active. It's not a single truth, it is a multiple truth that everybody can experience to express mind. Okay. And that's important to remember. It's not just one thing, it's many different things that can lead one down to a path of that rigorous practice of meditation. As they called it here in that article that I was reading, it's the habitual process. Why are you going to say habitual process? Okay. It's a habit, right? So the habit of meditation, science is seeing data coming back to them and saying, oh, yeah, there's something to this. Duh. The problem is, who has time to sit there and just stare into the nothing? Who has that silence of mind to sit there and breathe and just sit there? I don't understand. If science and the data is calling it a habitual process of training your mind, why would they be calling it a habit? Hmm. It's placing that label is the problem. Um, meditation is not a time that you set up, and meditation is not the process that you go through. Meditation is not the act of a result. Hmm. Interesting. It's not an act of a result. What that means is if you are meditating and you're expecting some form of return, then you are really not helping yourself. If you are meditating for the sake of just sitting there in silence and just allowing your thoughts to flow by, you are doing yourself a service. Okay. And that's why science is calling it habitual, right? So the solution to this habit is definitely rewarding. It is rewarding in the sense that you gain an inner understanding of who and what you are. You gain that inner understanding of who and what you are by seeing your actions change, by seeing your reality change, by seeing yourself coming out of a cocoon of what used to be. What that means is over time, the more you practice or the more you live with just your breath in silence in the dark, you will see a difference in who you are and what you are. This difference now resonates to everybody else. And everybody else wants to know what is different about you. Everybody else wants to know why you're acting the way you are. Everybody else wants to know your secret. But once you tell them, it's too simple. Once you tell them you sit there and you breathe and meditate, it's too simple. They known you for your entire life. And once you start breathing, as I call it, I don't call it meditation. Once you start breathing, you actually see a change. I don't say change as far as instant goes. It's a gradual process or it's a gradual form of that self awareness that creates that change. Okay. And the solution to a progressive or a good meditative practice is not labeling it. The solution is not labeling that you're sitting there to meditate. Okay. That is how you will begin the process of meditating. It's not saying that I'm going to sit there to meditate. It's not saying that I'm going to start the habitual process. It's just being, existing, who you are and what you are, and adding it in to a system or a time that you have available to sit there and breathe. Okay. So by not labeling it a meditation, you're creating a routine that is going to help you evolve. Not my words, not science's words. You and you yourself alone can evolve just by breathing, period. Okay. And that is the solution. The solution is not labeling it. Now, each outcome again is different for everybody. Each outcome has a different resolution. So each outcome has a different ending. Not everybody has the same type of performative function or performative mind process or performative ability as a young child, somebody who's very, very old and is on their way out. But a young child and a great date and a great time to stop meditating is 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. That is the perfect time for you to start a meditative practice because by the time you reach in your late to mid 30s, those results will be profound and your life will have taken a different path, whereas you did not have a meditative mindset already structured into your being, into your meat bag. Okay. So Carol asks, just paying attention to too many breath, to my breath is meditation. Okay. There is different forms of meditation. Okay. Paying attention to your breath is just one form of meditation. I believe they call that mindfulness meditation. When you're sitting there completely, everything that comes into your head, you're just feeling your breath. And that breath now is what is creating your reality, right? And that form of meditation allows those thoughts to come in and go out. But that requires focus. Okay. And um, that meditative state comes and goes as it pleases. Okay. So let's see here. Oh my God. What does it I even mean? I have no idea what that means. Huh?
She's drooling.
Why are they drooling?
Maybe because of the cake.
Too many babies?
The cake.
I don't know who's texting me. Why you text me when I'm live, but please stop. There's really no need for it. Where was I?
Pay attention to your breath meditation.
So, paying attention to your breath is to your breasts. Paying attention to your breath is a form of meditation. Paying attention to breath is beautiful too, but it's not a form of meditation.
Could be the focal point.
It could be a focal point. You are correct. It could be a focal point, but you might get slapped across the head. I don't think you want to use breast as your focal point to start your meditation practice. But there is many different ways that you can find that silence. Now, I said there is no structure in darkness. Close your eyes, okay? If you're in a dark space, there is really no structure. There could be colors, there could be all these things coming across, there could be eyeballs, there could be all these different things, but those are structures. There's no real structure in that darkness. Okay. So if you're sitting there and that mirror is nothing, what is there to see? What is there to experience? What is there to push out or bring in? Okay. If you had a psychedelic experience, say you did mushrooms, one of the things you start hearing is a wong, 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 wong sound coming out of your ears. Meditation brings out the sound, and it's usually a boo. It depends on the frequency of it, varies, right? So in a psychedelic experience, you're having a reaction vibrationally. And everybody has different reactions according to the vibration of the human being that is experiencing that conscious moment in the illusion. Now, this is the key. Because this is an illusion, and because mind is all is mind, consciousness is mental. Okay. That experience of sitting in that dark space is what creates the abundance of self. Right? It's not something that the book says. It's not something that the Kabbalah, what do you call it? Kabbalah says. It's not what science is talking about, Planck space. It's not about any of that. It's about your own unique vibrational expression. Okay. And that has to do with the illusion of consciousness. Same thing with orbs, same thing with UFOs, same thing with Bigfoot, same thing with ghosts, same thing with anything that's paranormal that is in the realm of possibility also exists in the realm of meditation. Yet you are creating this illusion. You yourself are experiencing this illusion that is a quiet, dark, no structure space, right? So you are interacting not only with yourself, but you're also interacting with mind, right? And it's funny how every mystic, everybody that ever was anything as far as like structure in a form of religion will talk about a meditation. We'll talk about a prayer. We'll talk about finding that inner peace, right? That inner existence is the truer reality than this illusion, because that inner existence is what you're a part of. And that's what creates the external existence, the external structure of what we call reality, right? So, 3 dimension, 4 dimension, 5 dimension, 2 dimension, blah, 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 blah. It's all relevant because you can still meditate even if you're so high up in a vibrational state, you can still meditate, right? Or as I call it, breathe. You can still breathe because that breath is that interaction that creates, that gets the process rolling. And your brain is set up in a way that is perfect for interacting and expanding with mind. You got another question? Because
Oh, shut up.
because um, because in silence without a label, then there is no place that you really cannot interact with. You get to the outcome of um, what do I want to use the word mindfulness? I don't know, but you get to the outcome
Awareness.
of awareness of self in silence. Okay, and that silence is universal. Um, I do want to warn against binaural beats or using certain music unless it's tuned in to the proper
432.
frequency, which is what, 428
432.
or 432. Thank you. It has to be given to you at 432 in order to have a proper resonance with it. Because at 440, what it is right now, and this is hertz, 440 hertz or cycles per minute, that is a different outcome. Okay. And a lot of bad intention has got into this 440 hertz vibrational state versus the 432 vibrational state. Okay. So binaural beats, if you can tune them in at 432 hertz, by all means, go for it. If you can use music at 432 beats, hertz per second, great, use it up. But anything different, anything does not equal a 3, 6, or 9 um, paradigm, it does not serve you. It is there to go against you. Okay? I understand there's not many people on tonight. Does anybody have a question? Okay.
I got one.
What is that?
432, tranquil meditation uses binaural beats.
Okay, so there is results out there for 432, but
For
how do you know
binaural.
that's 432 hertz? How are we going to test it?
I don't know how to test it.
You see what I'm saying? Can you trust that? But I guess you could trust it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if the title says 432 binaural beats, then it's
Should
something
be.
that you can possibly use to help yourself achieve that meditative state. Okay, so that was the beginning. Uh, some data, the problems, meditation, the nuances, the solutions, and how to get to the outcome. And the non-common approach to breathing is structure of it. So the non-common approach is who the hell is sending hearts? The non-common approach. Wow, I have a whole bunch of jokers here tonight. The non-common approach. I'm gonna get stuck on my word. Oh, I forgot to give my sponsor a heads up. Thank you, Louis, for being my sponsor again and the beautiful frappedaki. Um, I don't know, but there's people messing with me right now because they know I geek a little bit. Um, the structure of breath does not uh, matter because you can so the structure of breath has different vibrational effects. There is yogic and there's tantric meditation. There is a whole different form of like kundalini meditation. There's just meditations for a little bit of everything. Now, I'm not talking about, you know, going diving into the all these meditations.
Mm.
I'm talking just sit there, shut your hole, shut your eyes, and breathe. Okay. Shut your eyes, shut your hole, shut your brain off. I'm making people choke over here. I'm sorry. But it's that simple. Uh, whether you're outdoors, whether you're indoors, whether you're on the moon, it's always nice and quiet and the perfect time to sit there and breathe. Okay. Now, the labeling of the meditation is the problem. Okay. So do not label as such. As such. The structure of the meditation is the problem. Do not make it a structured meditation. There is no right time to breathe. There is no wrong time to breathe.
Can you
There's
set a time?
there is no there is no right way to meditate and there's no wrong way to meditate. Can you set a time to breathe? Absolutely. You can set a time anytime you want to sit there and breathe. You're breathing right now. If you weren't breathing right now, what would happen? Right? Would be all gone. But since we're sitting here breathing, right? Some of us are more aware of the micro and the macro than others. And that awareness comes from breathing in darkness. Yes, thank you, Bill. Do not meditate as you're ready to go to sleep. Because what will happen?
You go to sleep.
You go to sleep. Is there beneficial meditation when you're sleeping? No. Does it help you sleep? Absolutely. Okay. I mean, we've all meditated, we all group meditated, and half of us fell asleep, literally, because we're all like, they're sitting or sitting up with their heads high, sleeping. So it's a beautiful thing. All right. So thank you for reminding me, Bill, not before bed. Sleep meditation before bed is not a good thing. Um, let's see. Now, does anybody else have a question before going on? Because I have a few more things to say. Okay. Now, since 2010, I've been meditating. I've been meditating basically in the mindful uh, tradition of meditation. I have not been doing any tantric or anything like that, but I am aware of it. But as time goes on, um, the act of sitting in silence becomes easier. And that act of integrating with self becomes easier. The act of solutions to myself becomes easier. And if I sit down and I have a meditative state of 2+ hours, it seems like 15 minutes. Okay. So not everybody's built the same. Some people can't stop their thinking. Some people can completely stop it. Some people have results. Other people feel like they don't have results. Okay. Now, some people have a fear of silence. Okay. Some people have a fear of their breath. So it is a completely natural process to be inquisitive, to find out what works for you. Okay. So what works for you may not work for me, and what works for me may not work for you. So if you begin a process of breathing, then you should see what suits you best. Okay. If it's binaural beats, by all means, find a 432 hertz frequency binaural beats that you can resonate with. All right. So, um, so after time, um, that silence becomes you, and that becoming allows you to interact with others in a different form. So, when I've taken out people to the field and resonated myself, I got into a meditative state. So, you can actually project um, self or this illusion with the proper explain form. Okay, you can project this illusion from within yourself and affect others just with a thought. Okay, that power of meditation becomes you, and that is the form you want to flow with. That power of thought no longer has control of you because you have the power over that thought, right? And that is the form that you want to um, eventually reach. But 2010 to 2025 is what, 15 years of breath? 15 years of breath is nothing. It really isn't. Imagine starting at 20 years old and going past 50. Now you've been breathing for 30 years. Well, some yogis have been breathing 40, 50 years. So what are they able to talk about? They're able to talk about lots of things, right? They're able to explain about love and how love resonates off with each other. But that form is true. That form that we all resonate off each other is true because my reality needs your reality to make my reality real and vice versa. So the illusion would mean nothing if we didn't have each other, right? And that's the ultimate form, right? So if a form consists of a mold of bundt cake, what is it? Like this? It's all round and it's all metal or plastic, whatever the hell you cook it with, metal. And then you pour your batter in there and you throw it in the oven and it comes out all round with a big hole in the middle, right? That's what happens when you put your mind on. Your mind comes on and you become a nice round bun cake ready to be frosted and eaten. Who's going to frost and eat you? Yourself. You are your best friend. You are your best reality, right? You don't need anybody else's word. You don't need anybody else's book. You don't need any science to explain shit to you. You don't need a video to show you nothing. You don't need my binaural beats to get to that point because once there is a connection, it's real. And that connection, that real form of consciousness comes through, right? And that's not the illusion. And that's where mystics go to find answers. Was that your butt? No?
It was my tongue.
Oh, Jesus. Sounded pretty suspicious. Ah, anyways, that's what I have on that form of what is meditation. It was mine. I'm sure it was, sir. Oh boy. Now, um, in any mental state, anything is a possibility. And in any mental state, could you possibly get scared?
Mhm.
Yes. In any mental state, could you possibly have an oh my freaking God moment? Absolutely. On any mental state is the unexpected expected or the expected unexpected. Both. The unexpected is expected and the expected is unexpected. Your head's spinning because it's funny as hell how you generate the vibrational fortitude to resonate in your own form, in your own meat bag. Your own system is a resonating, vibrating, and your own system has a very personal outcome. And that personal outcome is what was meant to be. It was meant for you to hear. It was meant for you to see. What was meant for you to experience is completely personal, right? It's not my experience versus your experience. No, it's an experience. And that experience is sacred and it's beautiful at the same time. And if we were around the time of the Buddha, which I believe meditation was around way before that, um, then the experience would be overwhelming because there was no interference from external sources like our food, our air, our water,
Mm.
the clothes we wear, the chemicals that we interact with. Completely different back 5,000 years ago than it is now. It was completely different 100 years ago than it is now, right? So, depending on the state of your body's vibrational resolution or vibrational status, is how you will experience breath. All right. So, meditation, that's what it is. So, if anybody can tell me what it is, I'd be happy to have some answers for you. Because I sure as the hells don't know what the hell it is. I just only explain it what it is. And look at this. Nobody's talking. That is very strange. Trapedaki. Okay. All righty. Captivating conversation. Hmm. What is captivating about this conversation? Let me hear you out. Oh, use your damn words. Okay, why does this stuff keep coming up on my thing here?
What? The hearts?
No. This thing.
Dropbox?
Yeah. Get out of here.
Probably an advertisement.
Oh, okay. Well, the conversation is interesting because it is relatable, right? Bill, you're telling me to speak. What is relatable about meditation? What is relatable about sitting in your breath? Right? Because we all have the capacity to sit there in our breath, yet we all don't do it. We all make excuses to not sit there in our breath because life happens. I get it. Great. But I promise this, and I don't promise many different things, that if you begin, a beginning will reveal itself. And not revealing, that revealing is based on you and you alone. Okay. Um was- when I first started talking about the stuff, I made a mistake. I was telling people what it is. I'm telling the lady you're talking to. The mistake I made when I started teaching other people how to meditate and breathe and so forth is I set up expectations, and I set up the expectation of them for them to fail. I did not know I was doing this. It took me many years to realize that I was doing this. And for that, I apologize. However, because I was so excited, I was so happy and so beside myself to be sitting there and helping other people learn how to breathe, I sort of like got too excited. There, you will not miss out on anything. Okay. You will not miss out on a single damn thing if you sit there and breathe on your own. Seriously. What will you miss out on? A TV show? A Gaia presentation? A conversation with your next door neighbor? A friend chat on with text messages? Okay. So you will miss out on nothing. You will miss out on the experience of yourself. The true experience of yourself is conscious darkness, right? When you're sleeping, that darkness is not conscious at all. Okay. Even if you're having a dream, that is not a meditative interaction. Okay. What's a little expectation? Bill asks. A little expectation is the ability to shut yourself down from a meditative state. So the smallest expectation is what creates you not having a good meditative uh, experience, right? Because if you go in, not everybody again, I would say 50-50% of the world. If you go into a breath, you can click quickly, or those thoughts will keep coming and it will take you a couple minutes to clear those thoughts into an airport coming, if airplanes coming and going, right? So that's what those thoughts are. The airplanes coming to land. If you show them the light or the runway, they're going to come in and land, and now you're going to start to think, right? Well, that's what an expectation is. An expectation is an extra large jumbo plane that needs a lot of runway space, and it takes up a lot of your focus to try to stop it. And you trying to stop it is what causes you to not go into the meditative state. Okay. So, say you do have an experience when you're sitting there breathing. Every single time you breathe, you're going to expect to go back to that same experience or some form of experience. That's not good. That's not meditating. Oh, yeah. Sitting there, expressing breath, feeling breath, whatever form you're trying to use to meditate, has no expectation to it. Okay. So the structure of darkness allows structures to enter, but there is no structure to the darkness. Okay. Structures being squares, circles, waves, whatever the hell you want to call them, those are structures. But the structure of darkness does not exist. It's just a clean slate. You just answered the question I was going to ask. LOL. Thank you, Ashley. Um, it's the question is not to begin a practice. The question is not to begin a practice. The question is to do and stick by yourself. You stuck by yourself as long as you've been alive. You've been breathing ever since you've been alive. So I don't understand why there's no correlation between breathing in darkness or in your eyes and you're nothing in your conscious brain sitting there breathing. I don't understand. That's what trips me up. My expectation is, what the hell? You should be able to meditate. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, dulda, buddha, Buddha, Buddha. Right? Right. That's my expectation. My expectation is, why doesn't everybody meditate? I expect people to meditate. Why? Because it's a sacred interaction of self, right? And we've been breathing since birth. Our last breath will bring us to another portal, to another beginning, right? So if our breath is so important, why can we take our breath to its maximum use of self? Because we're a fearful species. We are afraid of the unknown. We're afraid of the what ifs. We're afraid of the scientific structure of what's the word they used? I believe it was habitual. We're afraid of the habitual. Okay. If we're afraid of the habit, what harm is it to sit there for 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes focusing on your breath or unfocusing on your breath or whatever it is the hell you're trying to do in that time of self-reflection, right? So that time of self-reflection is the process of sacred interaction in this illusion. Okay. Okay. So meditation is a sacred interaction of self. No, that's not gold. That is silver. Good try, though. Cheers. Let's see. Do you recommend incorporating contemplation with meditation? Also, gold. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, Gouda. Okay. It's not non-meditation. All right. Well, first, let me answer Val before I ask Miss Lugano, Miss Carol. Contemplation can be added into meditation. Um, we all know Mr. Ivy. His name is Nick. And Mr. Ivy used that form to create a vast empire of artistic expression with football players, baseball players, hockey players, you name it. Okay. Because he made his own mantra, used his own words that came to him in meditative state and put them together. And as he began his meditation, he would he incorporated that mantra to create what he has today. Okay. So, yes, you can, but I do not recommend anything, Valerie. So, You can, but I don't recommend it. But you can if you choose to. It's okay. It's your experience, man. Your experience and your experience alone. Whether it's practical, whether it's has results or whatever it is that whether it has expectations built in there, unknown. It's your experience. So I will not recommend anything. I will only say it's possible. Okay. So if we're interacting with self, is that not meditation? How we interacting with self? If we're not interacting with self through a conscious willingness, then we're not truly interacting with self. That meditation is a conscious willingness to allow self to reflect in the illusion. You understand that? No? Do you not understand that? Why not? Speak. It's it's not good if you're not gonna speak. You gotta speak. If you're not gonna reflect, right, in silence, how can you interact with yourself in a conscious state? It would be a sudden traumatic event that would allow you, what am I interacting on, reflecting on? You're reflecting on you. So the only way you can reflect with self is during a traumatic event. If there was a traumatic event that happened, you would have an instant reflection. So that instant reflection, you're conscious, right? Okay. So when you are conscious, when can you get that instant reflection or a reflection? You can't, because all of this doesn't come to a halt. All of this does not stop, right? In darkness, what stops? The senses of it, the senses of sight, right? What else? That's it. Okay, so why is it that losing one sense creates that reflection? What else are we losing here? So we have no sight. What is powering the senses right now? I'm breathing.
Yeah.
Okay, that is powering my seven senses. Okay. Oh my God.
Something else.
So if I am powering my seven senses through breath, and eventually everything comes to a non-sensible, non-real, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to set up an expectations.
Mm.
What starts reflecting? You, yourself, your true self is reflecting.
In
And
my head or in my eyes?
it's reflecting in darkness. Your eyes are closed. The only senses are you hearing, your your skin, your touch, right? Your spirit, your God, I forgot the seven already. God help me. So, can you see with my eyes closed? That is an expectation. That is an expectation. If you're expecting to see stuff with your eyes closed, you are not meditating.
I don't expect it just shows up.
It doesn't show up. It does not show. It show whatever happens. It's an expectation that you are trying to set before you go into a state of meditation. You can't do that. you're creating a roadblock. Yes, you are creating a roadblock to not allow yourself to reach the silence because you are expecting for what? For the reflection of yourself? For real.
It's funny.
It's funny as hell. Yet, yet, uh, notice how happy I'm talking about this because that happiness is real. It's not something that I manufacture, right?
Mm.
That is a reflection of my experiences of self, right? The crow's feet here are pretty substantial, right?
You don't have.
I don't have any. I should because I'm laughing my ass off all the time. Well, why don't I have any?
Oh.
Because I'm always reflecting. I'm geeking too. It is too funny. And I have Carol sitting here, and she's like, I don't get it. There's nothing to get. That's my whole point of this video. There is nothing to get. There's only an awareness that comes with breathing in silence. That's all. Now, awareness is you. If you're sitting in silence, that awareness is you now because it's your expression, it's your mirror, it's your reality, it's whatever you want to call it. Okay. I know it's funny, but it's not funny at the same time. And this is why it was hard for me to not create an expectation with my first group of people that I would teach how to meditate. Because it's hard. It's hard to not give you little subtle hints that shut the hell up, close your eyes, stop breathing. That's all I can tell you. Okay? Science, there's data, colleges are studying it. In 15 years, that subject of meditation has exploded for a reason because there is serious uh, outcomes to be had for a human being. I'm glad I can make you all laugh. Laughter is very important. But I believe we've come full circle only because, we started off with meditation and we end up with meditation laughing. And that's a beautiful thing. It's like the experience is to be had in, oh my God, you can just ask me, you're sitting right there. Ah, yes, but the meditation they track are not the same as what you're telling us. Correct. The meditations they track are pretty much vanilla, right? The med
Those are easy ones.
those are the easy meditations, but that's my whole point. There is no complicated meditation. There is no right meditation, there is no wrong meditation. There isn't. There's no good meditation, there's no bad meditation. There's none of that that fits the mold exists. You know what exists? Sit there, make the time to sit there to go through the process. That exists. Doesn't matter if it's simple, complicated, whatever it is. Right? So the meditations that science is tracking is not the same as I am telling you. It is. It is. Whether it's transcendental, whether it's mindful, whether it's tantric, whether it's kundalini, it's a form of meditation.
Cool.
Correct. And that form is one. That form is not a complicated process. That form involves your breath, right? And some form of technique to process it. That's all. So I feel like a clown. I got my nose, my finger, my eyes, and I'm sitting there going, it's a form. This is a form of meditation. Please learn how to do this form of meditation. That's all it is, right? It doesn't matter whether it's the easy meditation process or the really complicated meditation, the yogi freaking style, India freaking heavy duty. I'm not going to drink water or eat food for a month stuff,
No.
right? It's a form of meditation, right? They have mastered the art of zero give a fuck. The art of zero giving a fuck is very, very, very important because the less you give a fuck, the healthier your meditation and your meditation technique will prosper. Right? The more you will get out of it, the more you will receive, the more you will give back. Right? And that interaction is sacred. That interaction is with who? Self. Period. Period. What is more important than yourself? What is more important than yourself? You wake up with yourself, you go to sleep with yourself, right? You die with yourself, you're born with yourself. What is more important than self? Really nothing. But we make it complicated because we gotta label shit. We gotta put stickers on the shit. We gotta say 1 friggin' 100. You did it. Right? We gotta say, well, scientists are finally catching up with the idea of meditation. It's really, really good for you. Fuck you. Okay? People have been breathing for thousands of years. Right? When we were created in Mars, were we breathing? No,
Yeah.
because we do not have the ability to, right? That ability for us to sit there and breathe came versions after, right? Because we were so into self that we didn't have the need to go into self. See the difference?
We were self.
We were self, exactly. Meditation brings you back to self. Meditation is the important act of becoming self, right? That is the final solution. And that is the final outcome. To be self is what else is more important? Nothing. So, my lovely bunch, do we have any questions? And I'm sick of Carol asking all the questions. Can somebody else please ask a question besides Carol? No, you should ask questions though, Carol, because thank you. Seriously. But you're standing right here. I can hear you. They can hear you. So just ask the questions. I should put you on camera just for the hell of it. All righty. What did Billy say over here? He put a blue face with a blah 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 blah.
Nothing.
What does temporal mean? Please Google.
Anti-temporal.
Yeah, but Google temporal and see what it means. Let's see what temporal means. Hold on a second. What does temporal mean?
Here's the definition of temporal: relating to worldly as opposed to spiritual affairs, secular.
Relating to time, the spatial and temporal dimensions of human interference in complex ecosystems.
The spatial and temporal dimensions of human interference in complex ecosystems. So I'm against that. That's what it means. I'm against relating to worldly or opposed to spiritual affairs, secular. The church did not imitate the secular rulers who thought only temporal gain. Whatever. Okay? So basically, I'm anti fucking establishment. I don't like that bullshit. Releasing of time as opposed to eternity. Okay? So temporal definition meaning the meaning of temporal is relating to time as opposed to eternity. How to use in a sentence, I have no clue. And so on and so on and so on. Who cares? Thank you. All right. Let's see. If you have another name, I would take it. Any advice? Thank you. I'd appreciate it. Chef Hioraf, I don't think is a good way to get people to remember the channel name. So I just said I'm going to change the channel name. That's all. But this has no relation to meditation, sir. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All righty. We're coming up to an hour and 6 minutes. Yep. Okay. Let's see. What Cal explained to me is I can expand or make my thing larger, my screen larger, right? So I use that.
Yeah.
I use that to make the chat bigger, and that's actually helped me with the glasses and the glare. Oh, look, the baby's here. Hi, baby. Hi, beautiful girl. Anyways, Esoteric Self is still a channel. But the original name was Chef Yodarf. Yodarf. Darf. Okay. So yes, Billy, it's tempura, sweet potato tempura.
Oh, tempura is good.
Temporal.
Tempura is good.
ISIS approved. See, ISIS heard this stuff and said, okay, I'm coming up to say hello. But Esoteric is still going on. I started this channel because I wanted to go live every Monday, for example. And then hopefully, once it has enough subscribers, to go live even more. And eventually we can get some form of podcast going that I will be able to talk to other people and help as much as I can because I'm sick and tired of the bullshit that is called life. Okay? There's so much false information out there that I had to set this up. You all know the rest of the story. Any questions? All right, guys, I'm gonna let you all go. And if it snows, peaceful healing. I like that. But I'm too like real for peaceful. Can we think of something else? You know, them love and light folks, they're not like people swearing. Alrighty. Okay, so I have a YouTube called
Peaceful
that.
healing.
Yeah, I guess Jared's has that. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it a night, and I appreciate you all for coming tonight, and hopefully this was helpful. Okay. All righty, guys. Peace. Bye-bye. What did I just do?
I don't know what you do.
I don't know. End stream.
Hit cancel. No.
I gotta do this stuff. And okay.